Our military hero of the month is Staff Sergeant Jim Pooley.
My dad came to Texas in '56
To work for Alcoa.
for Alcoa. He worked for Alcoa in Mobile.
Oh,
And then he went to Arkansas, and they opened up a new refinery in Arkansas, and then he came here when the new refinery opened up.
tell me about Point Comfort back then.
Point Comfort was a good little village, and I enjoyed it in Point Comfort. And graduated from Fort Locker in '58. Then I went to Victoria College for a brief period of time. Then I decided to go on Uncle Sam.
Jim's first tour took him to Germany as the Cold War was getting even colder.
That's right. We had what they call the Berlin Crisis at that time.
Tell us about the crisis.
The Berlin Crisis is where Russia had tanks on both sides of the Autobahn going into Berlin and starving the people of rations. So we had one convoy went through there to Berlin. Then we airlifted, of course, a bunch of aides.
In 1965, Vietnam was just getting going, and in those early days, the mission was about helping support the South Vietnamese in their fight against the North Viet Cong.
A lot of maneuvers up and down Route 1 and 19, and I was also a demolition expert, so we had mines to clear on the roads and things of that nature.
Meanwhile, the people back in the United States were turning against the war in Vietnam, and protests began to break out all over the country.
Basically, I came back in Fort Lewis, Washington, and with a bray on my head, I got spit at and things of that nature. I witnessed flag being burned.
But on one trip back home, Jim found comfort. Yes, he found the love of his life.
And I had orders to, because I was still airborne, to go to Fort Campbell. And this is before we got married. Patricia, or Pat, I had one blind date with her before I went to Nam. And right as I went to Nam, I met her again, and we decided to write back and forth. So I proposed through the mail to her, so I call her my mail order bride. Of course, that's the paratrooper's badge. That's a combat infantry badge. That's an expert badge for M14. All the rest of them are national medals of Vietnam.
When Jim's service was over, he found his way back home, and he wound up at the Formosa plant in Point Comfort, where it all began.
We had, I think it was 7 docks at Formosa. Ship docks, barge docks. I had the jurisdiction of the railroad transportation, marine and inner traffic areas.
Jim and his family have been in the crossroads ever since, and the only problem is that no one lives forever.
Pat developed dementia. She's in the final stages of dementia now, and she's also at the Southbrook Nursing Home in Edna, and she cannot do nothing for herself anymore.
I'm sorry to hear that.
And she's on the Hopkins program likewise, waiting for the good Lord to give her a call.
Right.
She is a real soldier in our family.
You give Pat a big hug for us
I will do that.
and a big kiss.
I will do that.
If you know a military hero and want to tell us their story, go to crossroadstoday.com/militaryhero and let us know. I'm Maclovio Perez, 25 News Now.